Muka aku ada kat sini. Okay, hello everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'm so sorry for the bit of delay because we have a little bit of technical issue just now. Okay, so first of all, welcome to Chemophilic. It's the first ever program that chemistry unit chemistry unit do for all of you, and it was supposed to be a face-to-face session. Unfortunately, only for today we'll try to use YouTube live. Okay, so without further ado, we start with our program. Okay, so I do believe all of your lecturers has given to you all the question in advance. Okay, so for today I will try my best to complete it within 1 hour, all the question. I'll try my best lah. If I can't make it, we will give you the answer after the session, and then you can ask from your own lecturers, your respective lecturers, for the answers. Okay, so we should start now. All right, so close it. Kalau tak aku punya screen. Okay, all right. So let's start. So first, for today, we are going to focus on chapter 1, matter. So as you know yourself, matter. This particular chapter has many marks. Okay, in PSPM is 21 marks over 80. So which is a lot lah. Okay, it's a lot of marks. So that is why it's very important. So that is why, if possible, you guys have to score this particular chapter because it is very, very, very high marks, 21 over 80. 21 over 80. All right, so the first question is this one. Okay, a sample of chlorine consists of two isotopes, Cl35 and Cl37. So they say that there are two isotopes, and then it says there as well, the RAM is 35.5, and then they ask you to calculate the percentage composition of each sample. Okay, wait for a while, yeah? Okay, pasal aku share dulu entire screen ke?
Tak boleh kan? Ni buat slideshow.
Slideshow. Okay.
Tadi kau share slideshow kan? Buat dulu slideshow. Okay. Macam mana tu? Cuba share entire screen.
Betul lah, try share screen.
Tak ada macam ni.
Okay. All right. So let's start. Let's go to question number 1. Sorry, just now when I wrote down something, it didn't come out. Okay, so that is why. So the first question, it says there they give you two isotopes, Cl35, Cl37, and it says there the relative atomic mass of chlorine is 35.5. Determine the percentage composition. This one is also means as percentage abundance. It's just a similar meanings. Okay, so as you can see, we know the fact that we have two masses, 35 and 37, and the RAM is 35.5. So how to solve this question is very straightforward, which means first, you guys have to remember this formula, which is the Kimiki formula. Okay, average atomic mass equal to summation of Qi Mi over Qi. Q is the abundance, and then M is the mass of the compound. So that is why when you guys want to do this question, okay, so you guys have to do this assumption first, because if you guys remember, it says there percentage abundance, and we only have two isotopes. So meaning to say that when these two isotopes total, it will be 100%. So that is why we have to do one assumption where we assume percentage bundle of Cl35 is X, so another will be 100 minus X. This is actually your Q term in terms of unknown. Okay, So that's why when we plug in the value, average atomic mass is 35.5, and then X is the Q for Cl35, and the mass is 35 for Cl35, plus the Q for Cl37, we assume just now 100 minus X, so 100 minus X, and the mass is 37 divided by 100. So you press your calculator hebat, it will come out the value of X is 75. But please bear in mind that this one is in terms of X. Question asks for percentage abundance. So which is why it is required for you to write down the statement and mention that Cl35% abundance is 75%. That's a unit here. It will be advisable for you to write down the unit. Okay. And then down here as well. So 100 minus 75, total will be 25%. Okay. Is everyone okay for this question? You guys can comment down on the chat area there. Okay, I hope everyone's okay. So now we proceed to question number 2. Okay, question number 2, this is about empirical formula. Okay, empirical formula. See, the question at the end, hence determine its empirical formula and molecular formula. So when you see the word empirical molecular formula, don't forget we must settle everything in table. Okay, we must have table. And also we need to know all the informations lah for us to calculate the empirical and molecular formula. So as you can see, says that RAM, they give you a compound P, relative molecular mass 46. So when they give you relative molecular mass, definitely they will ask you to calculate the molecular formula. Okay, when they give you the relative molecular mass of the compound, definitely they will ask you to calculate the molecular formula. Because why? This value is for us to calculate what is the N value. Okay, and this question mentioned it consists only carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So inside our table later, we will have C, H, and O. Okay, and then it says that 2.3 gram of sample P is burned completely in excess oxygen to yield 4.4 gram of carbon dioxide and 2.7 gram of water. So, right, so and then calculate the mass C, H, and O, and then we have to find the empirical formula and molecular formula. All right, so if you look from the solution here, so this is the chemical formula sort of in a very simple way. Okay, mix a mass of compound 2.3, CO2 is 4.4, water is 2.7. So to find the mass of carbon when you have combustion, don't forget the formula will be the mass of carbon, okay, is equal to mass of the CO2 times 12 divided by 44. So that is why mass of CO2 here is 4.4 and molar mass of carbon is 12. This is molar mass of carbon. And this is molar mass of CO2. So that's why the total 12 divided by 44. So you press the calculator, you got 1.2 gram. Okay, and then we repeat the same thing for calculate mass of hydrogen atom. Okay, common mistake for student when you guys calculate mass of hydrogen atom is you need to use mass of water, but you need to times with 2. Why we need to times 2? Because you can see in water, we have H2 here. Because kita tahu, 1 mass of H is 1. So there are 2, that's why 2 here. 2 times 1. Divided by molar mass of water is 18. So that's why 2.7 times 2 divided by 18, you got 0.3 gram. So now we know the mass of carbon, we know the mass of hydrogen. Next is to find the mass of oxygen atom. So this is where we need to use this formula whereby I always teach my student, you ambil the mass of the compound given minus mass of carbon minus mass of hydrogen. So mass of compound already given in the question 2.3. Mass of carbon and hydrogen 1.2 and also 0.3. So you dapat lah, you got the value is 0.8. Okay, common mistake that student will do for this kind of question is, okay, question give you the mass of CO2 and also water, right? So the common mistake that some of you guys will do is, you guys terus buat table. Lepas tu tiba-tiba, here it will be CO2, here will be H2O, you put 4.4 and then 2.7. So this is where this is wrong. Okay, because you have to understand when we talk about empirical formula, this one relates to each atom. Okay, CO2 and water, this is not atom, they are molecules. So that is why we cannot use directly the information given into the table for you to solve, which is why we require to calculate each one of the masses first, okay, before we do the table. All right, so now we already know the mass of carbon, hydrogen, and also oxygen atoms. So what's next is we do the table lah. So as you can see, we know the mass of carbon 1.2, hydrogen 0.3, O is 0.8, and the mass is in gram. Okay, the number of mole, how to find it? The formula will be mass over molar mass. So this is the molar mass for carbon, 12. This is molar mass of hydrogen, 1, and then molar mass of oxygen is 16. Okay, simplest mole ratio. Okay, before we get the number 2, 6, and 1, okay, we need to divide with the smallest number from number of mole, smaller number of mole. So as you can see here, 0.05, this is 0.3, this is 0.1. So this is the smallest number. So we divide by everything with 0.05. So here is 0.1 divided by 0.05. That's how we got 2. Here 0.3 divided by 0.05, we got 6. And here 0.05 divided by 0.05, we got 1. So which is why the empirical formula will be C2H6O is 1. So that's why it's C2H6O. Okay. All right. So now we have got the empirical formula. Now we need to find molecular formula. So we need to know what is the N value first, because to find molecular formula, it is equal to empirical formula times the one factor of N. So now we nak cari N, we have to find what is the N value. So that is why from the empirical formula we have gotten here C2H6O times N, this is equal to 46. This is the molar mass given in the question. So this is the molar mass of carbon, 2 times 12, 6 times 1, and 1 of the, so it's 2 times 12, 6 times 1 plus 16, 16 N. So you calculate N is equal to 1. Because you got this one, you akan dapat 46, N is equal to 46. So that's why N is equal to 1. So if N is equal to 1, molecular formula and empirical formula will be the same. Okay. Do you guys get this concept so far for these two questions? Okay, all right. So I know I'm going quite fast. Okay, that is because I try not to spend more time, because we know the fact that it is pretty quite late now, and of course, you guys have things to do. Okay, and also quite tired as well, so that's why lah. Okay, okay, let's start. Next question 3. A solution contains glycerol, C3H8O3, and water. So this question says usually coolest coolant blah 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 blah. A solution consists 6.1 gram of glycerol and 46 gram water, and density is given. Calculate the percent by mass of glycerol. Okay, and then they ask you concentration of glycerol. So for this question, okay, first you need to know question asks you percentage by mass, percent by mass. That's one thing. Then second question asks you for concentration of glycerol. So percentage by mass, okay, we need to remember the formula. Percentage by mass is equal to mass of solute divided by mass of solution times 100%. Okay, and how I teach my student whenever to determine which one is solute, solvent, and also solution. If solute, usually question will give you the chemical formula of the compound. So as you can see inside this question, glycerol, they give you the chemical formula, right? C3H8O3. So glycerol will be the solute. And for your syllabus, solvent are usually water. So water will be your solvent. Okay. And then it says here, this density given, this density is a density of solution. How do I know? Because you look at the sentence, this solution. Okay, this solution is usually blah, 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 blah. And also tengok third sentence, if the solution, they give you the word solution again. So that's why this is the density of solution, 1.10 gram per centimeter cube. Centimeter cube is also equal. Ini pun is similar with gram per ml. It's just the same thing. Okay, so now question asks me to calculate the percentage by mass of glycerol. So now you can see question being given to you the mass of solute. They also give you the mass of solvent. But inside our formula, we have mass of solution, which is why another thing you guys need to know is to find the mass of solution, we also can add on both mass of solvent plus mass of solute. So, which is why, if you can see from the solution that I'm giving you here, okay, nampak? I calculate the mass of solution first, which is I add on both of this. 66 gram, this is mass of our solute, plus this is mass of our water, 46. So we got mass of solution is 112 gram. And then percentage by mass, don't always forget to write down the formula. Percentage by mass equal to mass of the solute, which is glycerol in this case, divided by mass of solution times 100%. So solute 66, solution just now is 112, and then times 100. So you got the answer, 58.9%. Okay, and then next is to calculate the concentration. When they talk about concentration, frankly speaking, we are talking about molarity. Okay, capital M. Okay, so that is why, first, don't forget, formula for molarity is equal to mole of solute divided by volume of solution in the unit of liter. Okay, so now we need to know these two information in order to calculate the molarity. So inside our question, they give you the mass of solute given just now was 66 gram. So from mass of solute, we can find the mole of solute. So what formula we have to use? This formula, which is mass over molar mass. Okay, and then how about volume of solution? Volume of solution we can find from the formula of density. Density of solution is equal to mass of solution divided by volume of solution, which is you can see on the first step here, density of solution is equal to mass over volume of solution. So volume of solution, density given was 1.10. Mass of solution, this is just now 112, okay, from the previous question earlier. So now we want to find this. So that's why 112 divided by 1.1. So we got this volume, 101.82 milliliter. But don't forget, this one is in unit ml. But when you want to substitute inside our molarity formula, this is in the unit of liter. So we don't forget to convert it later when you substitute inside here. Okay, and then next we find the mole of the solute. So formula mass over molar mass. So 66 is the mass of the solute. Okay, and then 92 is the molar mass of glycerol, the formula just now. Okay, so when you calculate, you got 0.7174. Okay, so now we know the mole of solute, we know the volume of solution in liter. So mole 0.774, and this one you can see we got 101.82, right? So this one also, if we convert 101.82 over 1000. So you press here your calculator, the final answer you will get this one, 7.05 mole per liter, or you guys can just use 7.05 capital M molar, can also. Okay, how's everything so far? Okay for this question number 3? Wah, got some of the senior come and join you guys ni. Siapkan bagi kata semangat lagi. Sir, is it fine if we take 2 decimal places for percentage? Yes, you can. Okay, but usually for my student, I standardize everything. Since you guys already calculated usually in 3 to 4 decimal places, right? So you guys can calculate in 3 to 4 decimal places as well for percentage. So no issue. Okay, because sometimes I know the fact that when you do calculation at the top, you guys already do in 3 to 4. At the end, two decimal places may be quite confusing. If you want to start from the beginning till the end 4 decimal places pun boleh. Just do all the way. Tak ada masalah. So if my answer 7.07 molar is still acceptable kah? Yes, still acceptable because sometimes dekat dalam jawapan ni you see we are using the molar mass yang we call it as our expected one. Because in your own exam nanti, you are going to have the actual number of relative RAM. So you have to use the decimal places as well. So of course the answer will be a little bit different. So tak apa. So if how I state the mole into 2 decimal places only, 2 decimal places cannot, okay? Because like I told you earlier, calculation at the top, it prefers to have 4 decimal places, okay? 4. Kebanyakan pensyarah, I do believe most lecturers, all in KML here, for chemistry, they will teach you in 4 decimal places. So that's why if you start from 4 until the end, everything is 4. Don't start 2, because 2 is still quite dangerous because the range of the answer is very, very limited. Okay, so it's preferred to have 4. Okay, Rihanna? Okay, Alexis, I think I answered your question as well. Okay, can I proceed to the next question? Okay, all right. So let's go to the next question. Okay, this question usually in PSPM, okay, will cost you roughly about 9 marks. 9 to 11 marks. I forgot already, but usually I think last time was 11 marks, okay? 9 or 11 roughly, this kind of question. But quite a lot of marks, right? So roughly this is a lot of marks, okay? This question, it came out in PSPM a couple of years ago. So it did a lot of marks. So that's why from the question, it looks very simple, but the mark is high. So this a little bit of problems to some student because some student they don't really understand how to start the question. So it says here sodium carbonate. So again, like I mentioned earlier, if this one being given the chemical formula, this will be the solute. Okay, dissolve in ethanol to give 2.5 molar solution. Calculate the molarity of the solution if the density of solution is 1.43. So this is density of solution, 1.43. Okay, and then question asks you to calculate molality. So molality, M is equal to mole of solute divided by mass of solvent in kilogram. Okay. Okay, so how to start this? Because you can see, we have no idea what is the mole of solute. We also have no idea what is the mass of solvent. The only thing we know is the density of solution only. Sedangkan inside our formula, there are no density of solution required. So, which is why we need to do a little bit of assumption. So, for this kind of question, it is not actually an assumption. It is actually we get information based from the sentences. Okay, so for this one, let's say question gives you 2.5 molar, right? So 2.5 molar, if you guys remember back, this is also similar with 2.5 mole per liter, right? If you remember back, definition of molarity, okay, number of mole of solute in 1 liter of solution. So meaning here, this number here can be interpreted into mole of solute is 2.5 mole, and then volume of solution is going to be 1 liter. Assume logically from given concentration measurement kan sir? Yeah, that's correct. Betul. Assume logically from given concentration. Betul Sir Byron. Betul. Adik Byron. Kena panggil adik dalam ni sekarang. Okay, hi sir, can you show me which step you dapat markah? Thank you. Okay, I will show you after this, okay? When I go to the solution. Sekarang ni I just giving you the step by step, okay? To teach you how to extract the information first. Okay, so usually formula ni already give you 1 mark. Okay, they already give you 1 mark here. But later I'll go through detail lah. Okay, but the point here is this one. From this information given, you can extract 2 information already. So you can see, so from here you see you got 2 information already. You got mole of solid 2.5 and you know volume of solution is 1 liter. So you can see dah nampak dah almost there already. So we know the mole of solute dah tahu dah is 2.5. Now our problem is to find ini mass of solvent ya. Ini yang problemnya. Okay. So let's look at the solution. Okay. So ini like I told you earlier, assume volume of solution 1 liter, molarity ini. So this one sama macam tadi tu yang I mentioned. 2.5 molar, this means 2.5 mole of solute in 1 liter of solution. So that's why it's the same assumption lah. Okay. So now ini formula molality, mole of solute divided by mass of solvent in kilogram. And also one more thing we have to remember is this formula. Because why? Because our information know the volume of solution. And question also give you the density of solution just now, which is 1.43. Is it? Yeah, 1.43. So from this formula of density, we can find the mass of solution. So dia panjang sikit lah. Okay, so we go through one by one. So usually this assumption, okay, this assumption already give you 1 mark. Okay, this one is 1 mark. Assumption pun usually 1 mark. Okay, these two. Okay, and then next is from the formula of density. From this formula of density of solution, we need to find what is the mass of solution. So when you masuk the substitution value, 1.43 is equal to apa dia tadi mass of solution. Mass of solution divided by volume of solution. So volume of solution, if you see the density unit, the density 1.43 in the unit a gram of ml. But tadi kita dapat assumption is 1 liter, right? So 1 liter we need to convert into ml. So that's why we need to times 1000. So that's why sini kena divide by 1000. So when you substitute this, you already got another marks. And then you got the value for density, 1.43 times 1000. You got this one, is also another marks. Okay, all right. And then this mass of solution. But inside our formula molality, I tulis balik. We want the mass of solvent. Ini solution. So that is why kita kena find what is the mass of solute first, because mass of solution is equal to mass of solute plus mass of solvent. So ini dah dapat, which is ini 1430. Now I will go to find this so we can get this. Okay, so now we know the mole of solute already, because from our assumption just now, mole of solute is 2.5. So 2.5 times the molar mass of the Na2CO3, you got 265. You do this calculation, you got another marks. Okay, and then when you calculate the mass of solvent by using this formula, you will get another mark, which is 1430 minus 265. You got another mark for this. Okay, and then the formula molality, this is another marks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then don't forget, inside our calculation here, this is going to be in mass, right? In gram. But inside our formula, ingat, solvent must be in kg. So that's what 1165 divided by 1000, you got lah 1.165 kilogram. So the final answer, you got this one, 2.5 molal in the small m. So this one pun another 1 mark. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So maybe another marks usually on this formula. This formula pun can give you another marks because you know how to get the formula. So that's why it's roughly about 9 marks. Okay, Sasfa Hiliani Hassan, I hope I have answered you how to give the marks. This is just a rough idea how the marking is usually being given. Okay, so it's just plus minus lah. Maybe can be more, maybe can be less. Okay. Okay, everyone okay? Can we proceed to the next question? Last question kan? Tips 1. Nanti masa hujung-hujung nanti lah. Okay, boleh. Okay, right. So let's proceed to the last question. Last question for today. Lepas tu kita boleh relax. Question 5. Metal AL, relax, blah, 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 blah. You boleh baca sendiri, blah, blah, blah. Okay. This question, you see, question asks you determine the limiting reactant. And then you have to calculate theoretical yield and also percentage yield. So we need to say, you got a few things you have to calculate lah. Okay. So when you want to do limiting, this kind of reaction, limiting and excess, first, you have to write down the chemical equation. To be specific, balanced chemical equation. And then after that, you need to calculate mole of reactants given. And then we will do comparison. There are two methods that we can use for this. There are two methods we can do to find the limiting and excess reactant. So I will show you both methods. Okay. So first, we do the first method first. Okay. First, we need to know the balance equation first. So you can see from here, it says there, Al react with H2SO4. So Al plus H2SO4. And then it says there producing. So I buat kat bawah sebab ruang tak cukup. Al2SO43 plus with H2. So now you see this equation is not balanced sebab nampak on the left hand side got 1 Al, sini got 2 Al. So memang tak balance lah. So that's why we need to balance at the equation. So this one we just use normal inspection method. Okay. Inspection method tu, the one that you balance up element on the left, have a similar number with element on the right hand side. It's a very straightforward method. So you dapatlah ini 2Al plus 3H2SO4 forming Al2SO43 plus 3H2. Okay, all right. And then the one that you see here, this is the method 1, which is we compare reactant and reactant. Okay, so when you use this method, you still need to calculate the number of mole dulu. So you can see mole given in the question is mole, they give you the mass in the question is mass of Al and also mass of sulfuric acid. So you calculate the mole, which is formula mass over molar mass. So if I want to answer Shasha punya question just now, how much marks usually being given? This one, balance equation 1 markah. When you calculate mole of each of the reactant given, you will get 1 mark each. 1 mark, 1 mark. So sini dah 3 dah. Okay. And then this one, you need to do ratio comparison. So this first method, we compare reactant and reactant. So that's why I compare mole of Al and also mole of H2SO4. But when you do this, don't forget mole that is being mole that you calculated. Okay, this is the mole that's been provided, mole given. Okay, ada some lecturers guna mole given, ada yang guna mole provided. They are the same thing sama je maksud dia. Okay, so you can see now these sentences. This is what we call as ratio comparison. Ratio comparison relate dengan chemical equation dekat sini. So you can see from the balance equation, 2 mole of Al reacts with 3 mole of H2SO4. So the ratio is 2 to 3. So kalau 0.3074 mole of Al, how do I get this? Kita akan buat 0.3704 divided by 2 times 3. You dapatlah this answer, 0.05556. Okay, this is the one that you needed. So you can see, you need 0.5 but you've been given for H2SO4 0.6. Maksudnya terlebih lah. Contoh dia macam I ada duit RM5,000, I beli phone RM4,000. So ada lebih RM1,000. So bila ada lebihan tu, that's why you can see here, you can say the statement, the amount of mole H2SO4 given 0.612 is in excess. Sebab apa? We need only 0.05. So maksudnya H2SO4 is an excess reactant. But question asks for limiting, right? So that's why the another one, AL, will be the limiting reactant. Okay, so this is the first method. The second method is you can use by comparing reactant and product. Okay, so which product that I will compare? You tengok balik soalan. Soalan cakap they ask you to calculate the theoretical yield of Al2SO43, right? So we will do comparison towards Al2SO43. So apa maksud dekat sini? Both reactants you need to compare to only one product, bukan untuk dua-dua produk sekali. Satu produk sahaja. So kat sini, so from equation you can see that 2 mole of Al will form 1 mole of Al2SO43. So kalau sini 0.3704 mole of Al, this one akan jadi half of it. Berapa Yang boleh tak sampai kira je. Lupa dah ni. Lupa nak kirakan je. 0. berapa? 15? Kejap kena kira. Tengok sambil buat sambil kira. Okay, 0.1852 mole of Al2SO43. Okay, and then ini untuk kita compare Al dengan ini, this product. Second, kita kena compare H2SO4 and also Al2SO43. Okay, alright. So now another one is from H2SO4. 3 mole of H2SO4 produces 1 mole of Al2SO4 3. So kalau mole yang you kira just now is 0.6122 mole of H2SO4. This one you need to times 3 lah. So nampak ratio dia 3 to 1 kan? So 0.6122 divided by 3. 0.6122 divided by 0.6122 divided by 3, you akan dapat 0.2041 mole of Al2SO4 3. So nampak dekat sini. Kalau you use H2SO4, your product dapat 0.2. If you use Al, your product 0.18. Sikit kan? So since Al gives less product, so Al is the limiting reactant. So frankly speaking, you can use either of this method for you to determine limiting and excess reactant. Okay, so whichever that you prefer, which method, just use it according to your preferences. Okay, semua boleh faham so far for this one? Oh, Oza, thank you for coming, Oza. So, do you have your own YouTube channel? Tak ada, tapi ada TikTok. Sampai. No, I don't have YouTube. I don't have YouTube channel. Okay, I usually do all my teaching through Google Meet. So, I have my own recorded version. So, usually I just give it to my student lah. Okay, all right. Okay, right. So, let's proceed to the next question. Okay, next question. Question asks you to calculate the theoretical yield. So, theoretical yield. Okay, this is the formula. Okay, first we need to calculate the theoretical yield. Theoretical yield. Theoretical yield basically is the yield that we can get from calculation. Usually we have to refer from limiting reactant. So we know that our limiting reactant is AL, right? So that's why we need to calculate what is the product that is produced based from the limiting reactant. So from the balance equation just now, nampak dekat sini, in this balance equation, okay, yang the first one dekat sini, 2 to 1. So that's why you can see from the balance equation, 2 mole of AL produce 1 mole of Al2SO43. So kalau tadi 0.374, dapatlah ini. Okay, so one more thing you guys have to know, when we talk about yield, yield tu usually dalam bentuk masses. So in the unit of gram, usually. Okay, so that's why I have to find mass. Mole dah dapat, which is 0.1852 times with the molar mass. So you dapatlah 63.34 gram. Okay, and then question mentioned, right, the actual yield was 57. Ni nampak ni. Question mentioned if 100 ni 57 these are produced. So these words basically coming from for actual yield. Actual yield ni usually question will give you. Okay, sebab actual yield ni usually come from experiment. So experiment question will give you, will tell you. Yalah, sebab dalam exam kau bukan buat eksperimen kan. So you have no idea what is the value. So that's why question will provide to you. Okay, right. So now we know here. So we already calculated percentage yield. Use this formula. Actual yield divided by theoretical yield times 100%. So 57 divided by 60.34 times 100 dapatlah 90%. Kalau you lupa percentage yield ni very simple. Another way you boleh ingat, atas must be small number. Bawah ni big number because percentage cannot exceed more than 100%. So sekarang awak ada 60.34, satu lagi number is 57. Ini kecil, ini besar. So that's why lah 57 divided by 60.34 dapatlah the percentage yield. Okay. Alright. And then last question. Oh, that's it. Habis. Whoa, we settle. Okay, that's good. Okay, so I stop sharing my screen first. And I stop present dulu. Okay, alright. So baru nampak. Okay, so I know that 5 questions to revise for chapter 1 is not enough. Okay, because like I told you guys earlier, chapter 1 has 21 marks. It's a lot of marks actually. Okay, so I have the team here. The team here asked me to give you a little bit of tips for chapter 1. Okay, so my tips is after you finish chapter 1, I advise you to do the past year question. It is because past year question is the most reliable question that will tell you how the question will ask you. Because you tahu chapter 1 we have many things and you can see how they ask you in terms of exam, how the sentences look like. So it is advisable for you to do the past year question. Okay, all the lecturers already have the answer for past years, but you are required to do the past year first. Baru they will give you the answer. You cannot expect to get answer from them. Ingat, jangan jadi pemalas. Kau kena belajar dulu, you have to do first. Okay, that's first. Second, chapter 1 is all about calculation. So which is why your mathematics pun you need to be a little bit power lah. Power means you need to know all the basic concept, plus, minus, times, divide, okay? Do not get mixed up, do not get careless mistake in the sense of mana nak tambah, mana nak tolak. And also third, a very important skill is pressing calculator. Itu penting, especially in Kiniki. Because you know Kiniki sometimes they have the masses yang banyak decimal places tu kan. Sometimes you guys tend to tersalah masuk key in value. So my advice, when you key in the value, right, double check the calculation. Tengok balik setiap number tu, is it correct or not for each of the number that you key in. And then barulah you solve the question. Okay, alright. So dekat situ, Madam Rainy mention jangan lupa klik link Google Form untuk kehadiran feedback. Okay. So, bagilah feedback yang okay sikit Okay, dah ala-ala I have the ala-ala I buat live ni. Just want to promote a little bit about chemistry fair that is going to be happening starting from this 11th of August until 26th of August. So I do believe in Telegram, I have given you the AnyFlip link. So where I have given to you, there are 7 competitions that will be going on. Okay, there are many of it. Aku tak ingat nama. Alchemist team. Do you think you can teach? We have Project Runaway. Project Cam Runaway. Sorry, Project Cam Runaway. Dia punya ketua kat sini. Salah sebut nanti kena marah nanti. Project Cam Runaway. We have Brain Olympics. We have Steam Marvel. We have the comic competition, and also we have the video chemistry round. So we have 7 competition. So it will be very good if you guys join this, because this can be contributed as your participation here in KML. Okay, dia peringkat college which is not bad lah. Okay, you have something for you to write down in your Coco card nanti. Okay. Oh, thank you Adik Byron. Now you confident dengan chapter 1. I am glad it so much. Okay, so I think that's all for tonight. So Chemophilic will come again. Okay, all right. So Chemophilic will comes again to you guys in the next chapter soon. Okay, we'll give you time and date when is it going to be. So thank you again for those who are joining us for tonight. Thank you so much. And the feedback form, the Google form tu, ada bagi the link is being given to you. Okay, cuba try balik. Okay, kalau tak dapat tak apa, nanti your own respective lecturers will pass the link to you. So whoever joined the session tonight, you guys can fill out. Okay, so thank you again. Have a good night. See you guys again. Bye bye.